Okay, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmaster and guest. Have you ever wondered why there's some persons you just like immediately? Or if you get to know them better, you like them even more? I've asked myself that question. And I think there are probably three qualities that are important for a person like that. The first quality is that they're interesting, and you always come away learning something new when you're around them. The second quality would be that they're interested in you. They ask questions about yourself, and they're really sincere about those questions. The third quality would be that you feel better when you're around them, and you feel uplifted when they speak to you. So my wife Phyllis has all of those qualities. She is loved by everyone all around the world, in South America, in Mexico, in Europe, and of course here in the States by all her friends and family. Phyllis grew up in West Texas in the Panhandle. She was always the favorite of her teachers, of her aunts and uncles, and her grandma. When she was in high school, she was asked to meet the new students and show them around and make them feel welcome. When she studied in Germany, she lived with a couple of families initially, and they just loved her to pieces. They really enjoyed having her there. Phyllis is fluent in Spanish and in German, and she can make jokes in all those languages, and of course English. When we're together with our family in Europe, German is the common language, and she keeps us in stitches, speaking German only. My mother speaks only German, and Phyllis used to call her periodically and talk to her, of course, in German. And she would tell her stories about what's going on here. For example, I would say, we went to the zoo. But Phyllis would tell a long story about how it was at the zoo and what the experience was, so that my mom could almost relive being with us there in the zoo. When my parents came to visit us in Virginia, Phyllis used to take them to the museums in Washington, D.C., and to the monuments and whatnot every day. And at the end of the day, they would stop and have some ice cream someplace. One day my mom said, wouldn't it be nice to have this ice cream in a nice china dish instead of these plastic cups? Well, the next day, Phyllis secretly packed up the best china that we had, silver and a beautiful tablecloth. And when they got to the Baskin-Robbins the next day, she spread out this table, made it look beautiful, and they really, really enjoyed that ice cream. Now, can you have anything more dulcet than that? Our grandchildren love to listen to, they love to come and visit us, first of all, and they love to listen to Phyllis when she tells her stories about this and that, sometimes fictitious stories, sometimes real life stories that they really are excited about, they really enjoy. So she also has an amazing memory. She can remember the names of her friends in kindergarten. Can you imagine that? She remembers too many things about me. Sometimes, but sometimes they're good. For example, she remembers things that my dad used to tell me or told me some 40 years ago that I've long forgotten, but she knows all of that. So she's an amazing person. Excuse me. She has a PhD in communication, and many of her friends and relatives, they always look for help for advice from her. So she's a very good listener, and she can always give them some good advice. So if you analyze your friends and try to determine what is it about them that makes you like them so much, well, I'm sure it will be that they're interested in you. Ask questions about yourself. You come away feeling uplifted, and you feel better after having been around them. Mr. Toastmaster.